Hello, welcome to Real Boys Talk. Tonight we're doing Shooting the Shit with my bros of Sigma Omega Phi Fraternity Incorporated. We're celebrating Founders Week. This is going to be our 15th year celebration. We are excited. I've got some of my bros on the line. I'm gonna go around and let them introduce themselves, tell you where they're located. Let's start off with Maximilian.
Hi, I'm Maximilian. I am from everywhere. From everywhere.
From everywhere. Well, where is you right now?
Home.
In other words, we can't tell you, otherwise,
I'm home.
All right, Stephanie Brooks, where you at?
Hey, I'm
Got feedback. Okay,
there
go
you
ahead.
go. Stephanie Brooks. I'm in Albany, Georgia.
Albany. All right, let's go ahead with Cool Rush. Talk to me.
Hey, Russ. Cool Rush. I'm from Detroit.
Detroit's in the house. Perseverance. Talk to me. She talking and we can't hear.
How's she talking on mute?
You on mute.
My name is Perseverance, and I'm from Albany, Georgia.
Albany's in the house. Thank you guys. And I am your host, Amber Moore, also known as Bruh Cupid. So as we all know, we are celebrating 15 years. I know y'all are excited. So talk to me about how you view fraternity life. Was this what you expected? Being that it's not on most of us have not did not place this organization on a college campus. Not that we are on a college campus, but my brothers that are on the phone tonight that are with me tonight did not pledge our organization on a college campus. So tell me about your version of what you see this organization and fraternity life overall. Anybody to jump in? Let's tell them that talking. Go ahead.
I think it's
One of y'all got
I think
to turn
it's
the volume.
somewhat what I expected.
Mhm.
But going through this process as an adult, I think it's different. Because when I was in college, I did attempt to pledge a quote unquote sorority, but not a Divine Nine. And so that was like different because I didn't know who I was then, but I knew who I was, and knowing now my lifestyle and it being okay and me loving me for who I am now, the process was totally different,
And that's interesting that you say that you didn't really know who you were then. So now that you're older and then you pledge, does that mean that it's more valuable to you now than it would have been had you pledged when you were on a college campus?
Yes, definitely. Definitely it's more valuable to me now because my life has changed from college to now. Yeah, when I was in college, I was looking at girls, but my mom didn't know, so I was in a closet, It wasn't until I got out of college and had 2 kids, before I realized that, hey, at that time I was bisexual then, but even a year after being bisexual, I knew what I wanted, but I still didn't tell my mom. So the pledging wouldn't have made any difference now, if I would have pledged then, because I'm a totally different person. And so I appreciate it more now because I'm more of an adult now than I'll ever be. You know.
What else y'all think? What else y'all got? Anybody else? The experience of the Bruhhood. I know for me, a lot of us experience being in houses, being amongst families, in terms of being when you go to the club. I know I used to be a drag king, and even though I grew up in a Greek environment with Greek parents and family members, that yes, that was a tradition that you did in college. So those are things that I did in college, but then coming out and being in wanting that Bruhhood amongst and seeing other studs, I think that this is more valuable to me and who I am and what I represent than what I might have done when I was in college, because that was for family. You know what I'm saying? So I just wondered, do you all feel that same way? Do you feel like do you think that fraternities, here's a good question. Do you think that fraternities have changed how we as masculines now approach each other? Or do you think we're still doing that, looking at each other up and down and sizing each other up?
We still do that.
You think so? Has it made it better?
No.
No?
No.
I think between frats in the Greek life, it has gotten a little better. The depending on honestly what frat you belong to, you won't get that look up and down, because I don't ever get that look up and down. Not from a stud.
Don't lie, we do. We get the up and down because we look so good.
Not from a stud, and I put it like this: not from a stud in another fraternity.
Okay.
And because the respect is there.
That is true.
Is
true. But you still feel like, so is it that we're not doing enough in our community when it comes to our masculines to be able to start breaking that down? Or is that just a process that's just going to take its own course?
I honestly, it's just a process that's going to take its own course. And the reason why I'm saying that is because you have so many generations of the stud, right? Like you have so many generations of this shit, all these different labels, all these different brands, and it's like, okay, you're not masculine enough looking for me in order for me to call you a stud. So I'm gonna call you a STEM. Oh, you too masculine. Are you trans? We gonna call you trans masculine. Like it's so many fucking labels. Like the shit is crazy. So all these generations you're growing up with, and yeah, we sizing each other up because I'm looking at the old studs. I'm sizing you up like, what the hell are you doing? And then I'm looking at the younger ones, and I'm like, the hell are you doing? Like it's on both sides of me, and they're doing the same thing. So yeah, we're gonna continue to size each other up. Is it a bad thing? Not necessarily.
Why? Explain.
Necessarily. So I say this to say, sizing people up is not necessarily a negative thing. I'm sizing you up based on your experience. I can size you up based on what you bring to the table or what you can bring to me, right? So as us being what millennials, Gen X, Gen Z, or whatever the hell it is, like what do we do to these younger studs? What are we going to do with these younger studs who have this pent up anger because of whether it's bullying or the parents are so religious and they getting beat every day, you know what I'm saying? Like all of this stuff, or they just have this mentality of, I don't give a fuck and I'm going to screw everything that's walking type mentality. Like we have to sit down and talk to these young people and say, hey, look, just because you eating cootie cat don't mean that you ain't gonna walk around with something growing on your face. Like, you still gotta protect yourself.
Exactly. And I think a lot of people feel like, I think a lot of studs think that they are invincible. You know, like I'm a
In
stud.
this their time.
Say it
No, I
again.
don't.
They it's this their time. It's like they is the new straight. So they
Ah,
don't really know like what they're doing. They just doing something just because it's the new trend. It's like I'll tell any young individual, you don't really know what you're getting into. This life is not fit for everybody. So a lot of young people, being that I work in the field of education, I've seen this. I see it a lot where a lot of us need guidance.
is that our
That's
job?
basically all they need.
Is that our job? Is that something we should do as fraternity, as our brotherhood within us? We do it amongst each other and lift each other, but should we also be doing that out? And are you feeling that more organizations, more fraternities out there that are like us, or not like us, but that are in our same category of masculine, are they doing are they doing that? And is that making things better for what you're seeing in the education field, or no?
Actually, being the fact that down here there's not any masculine type LGBT groups here.
Okay. So in
So
Albany, we are in Albany. Our organization is in Albany. So you're telling me that us being in Albany, you guys are it. You are the mentor, so to speak, for the community of studs in Albany. Basically, y'all are muted. Old school, you're muted. There you go.
Okay, repeat what you said.
So
Cupid.
when she said there's no masculine groups there in Albany. So that means that you guys, because we are in Albany, that means that you guys are holding that responsibility on your shoulders, correct? So to
Correct,
speak,
correct. Because
And do
I've noticed since I've been here in Albany since 2013, I want to say.
Mhm.
Um and you might stumble across a few on the college campus, that are not on the down low stud, you know what I'm saying? Like with the makeup and the well, I'm not gonna say that they're not studs, because see, they have so many, like Max was saying, they have so many different labels now. You have to actually go to them and try and ask, well, how do you identify yourself? Thank you.
I don't like that. I don't like that we have to ask, like, are you a stud? We should know.
How do you classify yourself? And like at one time, you could say, well, hey, yeah, I know that's a stud. You know what I'm saying? Let me go and introduce myself and introduce the org. You know what I'm saying? But unless you got them dressed like that, and then you got to say to yourself, then, okay, are they really worth grooming?
Interesting. What do you mean by that?
Because for the simple fact that we're leaders. Sigma Omega Phi Fraternity Incorporated are a group of leaders. And the potential has to be there. You may not see it as a person not in my organization, but I see it. Do I see something that's work withable? Is it something that I see in them that I want to bring out or whatever? You know what I'm saying? And that's where you come when you start mentoring. You mentor them and you show them, hey, busting a sag ain't always it, bruh. You know, do I bust a sag? Yeah, when I'm out there hanging out with the boys. You know, and even sometimes with that, I'm not. You
So
know,
you try to say there's a place, give them the understanding there's a place and time for everything.
exactly. And nowadays they don't know.
Mhm.
All they see is what's on the outside. You know what I'm saying? But it's more it's way more
826.
to being masculine than what you wearing, bro. This is a mental thing.
And that's interesting because now people think that we dress masculine because we want to be men. And we always are saying, no, we don't want to be a man. This is because masculinity is not a male term. It is just the way a vibe or moment or however you want to put it. And so I think it's interesting that you say that it's not the clothes. I mean, because you could put me in a dress, I'm still gonna look very masculine. Well, I don't know anymore. Because I done got some weight
Trust
on
me.
me. So maybe I don't look as masculine as I think I do if I was in a dress. But I think that there is that. I don't think it matters what you wear. I think that you can still give out a really strong masculine vibe. We have two other of my bros on here. Please introduce yourself.
Oh,
Yes. Go ahead.
oh,
Tell them where
hi.
you are.
I'm prophetic. I'm part of the Gamma chapter here in Jacksonville, Florida. I've been a member since fall of 21. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So we started out just talking about how the fraternity lifestyle, people were making the statement that it was different from if they were in college because they didn't really know themselves, but now you know yourself. So do you feel that by you being older now, do you feel like it was a better fit for you to pledge into a fraternity now than it would have been when you were younger, possibly in college?
Almost definitely. When I was in college, I, no short way to say it, I was a knucklehead all any and everywhere. So yeah, it took some time for me to mature and really figure out how I want to present myself to this world. And it took a whole lot of growing, a lot of life experiences for me to figure out me.
Okay.
And I know definitely, yeah, back then it wouldn't have meant to me probably as much then as it does for me now.
Okay. And we were discussing that as well. Is that's one of the things that old school was saying was that it would not have meant as much to her had she played then because of the fact that she really was still learning herself. She was still understanding some things about herself. So I just want to see how you are now. We have another bruh that just walked in. Jabria, would you like to introduce yourself, please? And did I say your name right?
Jabri, yeah, you said it right.
Like I'm giving that to the government.
Yeah, Jabril, I just got
Uh-oh.
rebirth. My rebirth name is Cognizant. So I've been with the org. I just crossed in fall 22, so I haven't been with the org not even 6 months. But so far everything's been cool, steady. Got a good relationship with a couple of bros, still reaching out, learning other bros. I think I text big bro Max the other day. I was it was my watch texting you at work, so I apologize for that. But yeah, still new, real new. So still learning, steady growing. When I was in college, I went to a PWI. So um we had Greek, but we LGBT Greek wasn't even a thing then. So well, it wasn't something that it was a thing because Sigma Omega Phi was going on, but it wasn't a thing where I was. So I didn't fit, within the D9, with the deltas, with the sigmas. I didn't fit in I didn't feel like I fit in because of my masculine identity. So yeah, I think it's better that I cross now because I actually found, something that suits me versus just crossing for sisterhood and still not having a real relationship or having anything in common with, my fellow sisters. So
All right. So let's ask the question of being 15 years, what do y'all feel like our future looks like going to the next 15 years? And we don't have to tell our secrets. Like, we ain't got to tell what we have in plan because we got some shit planned. I know we got shit planned we can't talk about right now, but I'm just saying generally, just on a general level. Don't give them the secret stuff. They ain't ready yet. They ain't ready. They give them a little something,
Really,
little sprinkle.
I think in the future, like, we'll continue to grow, not just on a national level, but I honestly believe that the doors of these colleges are going to open back up to us. I know we had like a lot of setback when COVID hit, and it put a pause on a lot of things that we were trying to do. But I honestly see, like, in the next 5 to 10 years that we're going to be on at least another 5 to 6 college campuses, hopefully majority of them HBCUs. And I think that we are going to be international. I think we will have international membership. Honestly, hopefully we will be able to see it in our lifetime. But that is something that I would hope that we're able to do in the future.
Anyone else? Y'all got some other ideas? Y'all got some other goals that we need to be, that you feel like we're going to be meeting coming up soon? What you got? Anybody?
I think just like Max, that because that I've noticed that, like, on my Facebook page, a lot of foreigners have been hitting me up, sending me a lot of friend requests when we do when we post a lot of our SOP stuff. You know what I'm saying? And so I agree with Max. I think within the next 5 years, we will be international, as well as more collegiate, you know what I'm saying, than we are now. Our national, I think, is going to grow astronomically, and with us being the leaders that we are, we're just going to show everybody how it's done.
I think we have been, actually. They just don't want to admit it.
We already did. We set the blueprint. You got to remember.
But the thing is, the thing is that they don't have to admit it. It's going to be right there, and we're not going to have to say anything. Just like you said, bro Cupid, we're not going to speak on the plans that we have for our future as members of SOP. But we're getting ready to soar, bro.
Oh yeah, we about to put the stank on it. Let me just tell y'all, we about to put
exactly.
It's serious. It's some good stuff that we're doing
across the globe,
and we've been doing good stuff. So
yeah.
Question to all of you all: are y'all all right? Because we got to check on each other. We got to check on our mental health, and that's something that I know as studs we do not do. Now we as bros do it. We probably don't do it as much as we should because I know we all have busy lives. I know that. So today, right here, right now, with the people that are on this line, I just want to make sure y'all are okay.
For the last 5 months, no. I literally just got out of my depression. Literally just got out of my depression.
Interesting.
And like, nobody knew. For 5 months, I was struggling. Like, I was struggling for real. So you asked me 5 months ago, I would have told you, no, I'm not okay. Today I'm okay. Today I'm perfectly fine. For the past couple of weeks, I've been really, really good. So I hope to keep that energy.
And is it due to the holidays, the weather, or is it just shit in life?
No, nothing for me. And this, I'm speaking on me. I don't know anybody else with that y'all struggles, but for me, there is no trigger. It just comes. And a lot of that has to do with my autoimmune disease, because my brain is fucked up. Like it is, but it just comes, and when it comes, it's bad.
And you just have to wait it out?
Yeah, I'll go through the darkness. I'll go through the darkness. I'll put on that fake ass smile, do some fake ass work to get that fake ass money that it don't make you happy anyway. Like, let's just be clear. You know what I'm saying? So like you go through the motions. When you suffer from depression and anxiety, as long as I have, you know how to mask it well. That's the scary thing. We know how to mask it well.
That's true.
Think about it. The dude that just killed himself, the DJ dude. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, we know how to mask it. And people's like, oh my God, I can't believe that he was so happy. Same thing with Robin Williams. Oh, he was just such a funny guy. That we know how to maneuver through life, and nobody knows that anything is wrong or we are having these dark thoughts until it's literally too late.
And that's why it's important. I know for me, I feel you, Max, because that's why it's important for me to stay in close contact with my circle, you know, and they know that if I ain't got in contact with you in a couple of days, you know, you better call her, bruh, you know. And so your circle's got to know you, and you got to know your circle too. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes your circle can be your biggest downfall when you're going through depression. I'm not even gonna lie. I stopped putting my faith in people that includes my friends, my family, and my brothers. I'm not lying. I stopped doing that. And the reason being is because we can talk about this all day long. I'm gonna say my piece. Listen, for one, y'all don't talk to me enough to know me in that manner. For real. Like seriously, y'all don't. Y'all have no idea what I go through. Y'all have no idea what demons I'm facing. Mm-hmm. And if I pick up the phone, and I need you at that moment and you don't answer and you don't call me back, now I have resentment in my heart towards you.
Right.
And that is something that I don't want to do. So I stopped letting family, friends, and stuff like that be 100% my support system in my happiness. I had to learn how to find best practices and tricks for myself to get myself out of that depression, because I'm telling you, if I turn around and you fail me, if at one time I call you and you don't answer and you don't respond, or that one time I need you and I desperately need you and you are not there and you fail me, it's going to make me feel 10 times worse. So in that instance, I stopped relying on people to be my support system when it comes to my depression. I had to learn. I had to research. What are my triggers? When do I know when it's getting ready to start? So that way I can start prepping myself to do certain things like lighting that candle, cutting off my light in the office and just letting my TV glow and let that just be the only light. Meditation, all of that stuff. Because I'm telling you, I've had so many people fail me at so many times. Like, I've gotten rid of friends. I'm talking about years and years and years of friendships just because they failed me.
Yeah.
I think we put, I know for me, I put people on a pedestal.
But
So
it's not. But it's not even the
but for me,
pedestal.
but that's what I'm saying. That like what you said you let them go. I put them on a pedestal because what you show me is what I believe, right? So if you show me you show me this, that, and the other, I go, okay, this, and I put you on that pedestal. And I have found that that's not good. That's not good for me, because then when you don't meet that pedestal level, then I'm like devastated. I'm like, wait a minute, what happened? So I know I can kind of understand what you're saying. I actually do understand what you're saying, Max. I know for me, being a founder, I cannot show weakness.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing, Q, and I don't ever want you to think that you're putting people on pedestals, because nobody will ever be above you. Nobody will ever be above you. So stop right there. It's not you putting them on a pedestal. It's you being a friend. That is all.
Okay.
And that's the thing, because here, and this is what I want each of you all to understand. Stop pouring into people who don't pour into you, because what's going to happen is you're going to keep pouring into people and nobody's pouring back into you. And then all of a sudden, what else you got to pour? What else
You
you got
got
to pour?
nothing to pour, and
So,
ain't nobody around.
So
That is
how
something
is
that
it?
I've
So
talked
how
about.
is it that every time that you get into a pickle and you call me and I'm the one that bail you out every single time, but I can't even get a happy birthday on my birthday? You won't even call and check up on me. You won't even say congratulations at the fact that I got another grandson that just came into this world in December. Like, that's the shit that I be looking at. That's the shit that I be looking at. And that's why I had to distance myself from people, because again, my friends, my bros, my family, they will 100% disappoint me in one way or another. That is going to trigger some form of depression or anxiety that is going to fuck with my mental health. So guess what? To eliminate that, to stop me from hating your guts, I have to find best practices for myself. And that even includes talking to someone else outside of my circle, someone who doesn't know me from Adam, that has a better insight and won't be biased. Because guess what? Old school gonna tell me, oh, Max, you strong enough. You could do this. I got you. No, nigga, I'm not strong. That's why the fuck I'm crying in the fucking corner. I'm not strong. No, nigga, don't tell me that shit. Tell me some real shit. And that's why that's why I'm gonna see Dr. Patricia down the street. I'm gonna lay on her couch with my new J's on, and I'm gonna talk to her and let her know how I feel about you, how I feel about the real feelings about my mom and my daddy, and all of that stuff. Like, come on, let's be real.
I think we don't, like, I know, like I said, for me, being a founder and being in the positions that I'm in when it comes to the community, I cannot have a sign of weakness. And so, being that I am the only standing founder in this organization, didn't start that way, but that's where I am now. I feel like you all, I have to be strong enough to carry, even though I might not talk to you, I still pray for you, and I still go, okay, I know they got issues. I know everybody's life ain't, wonderful and great. You got some downs and ups. So I feel like I put all of that on me automatically. And so I was blessed. A lot of people can't say this, but when COVID hit, and I've said it probably a couple of times, when COVID hit, that was a blessing for me, because it really made me sit in who I am and the shit that I've done, the shit that I say, even relationships with females, I looked at those relationships and I was like, oh, that's their fault. They left me, blah, blah, blah. They cheated, blah, blah. I had to look and go, wait a minute. What really was going on in that situation? And I had to own up to it. And when I did, I realized that I was sitting in depression. And I realized that, and yes, and Max Max Million is a senior member of this organization, so she's seen the growth that this organization has gone through. We've gone through a very rough and dark times to get to where we are today. Okay, and she's seen that. Who I was in 2008, I don't know who that is. I will never see her again. She will never exist again. because of all the stuff that I had to go through when it came to this organization. And when I realized during COVID that what I was going through, I never spoke. I never really truly spoke on it. And when I finally let it go, I realized that I was so depressed. It was dark. I'm gonna tell you how dark it was. It's so dark that the bushes around my house had built up so much you couldn't see my house, because I had made a cocoon. I had made myself safe in this house. And my house wasn't happy. And then when I cut everything and I started processing it, I got to move all that stuff out. And now my house, you can see it a mile away. And I'm out of the depression. I know, and like you said, Max, I had to stop putting people, well, I was saying I was putting them on pedestals, but really being a friend to them, not realizing they don't know how to be a friend to me. And now I know how to articulate what I want from my friendships. So now as a founder, I'm able to really, truly understand the brotherhood that I've created, which I thought I understood it. And I understood the concepts of it, but now I understand the responsibility of it. And that's new to me, because I thought I had it.
I think it was something that we had to grow and build and make it our own, because we were so new. Like, you got to remember, like, I came in a year after y'all were founded. Like, we were founded like a year in, for real, and everything was so new, but we had to go through all of that stuff. Like, we had to go through people, somebody stealing our money. We had to go through it, because guess what it did? It taught us better money management processes.
Yep.
Where now we know where our money's going. Like, we see our money, we can track our funds. Like, we had to go into the red when it came to events. It made us better event planners. It made us not go into the negative when we have these events, that we can actually have something sustainable. We had to go through that. We had to go through the membership hype and the membership drop. We had to go through it, because we had to weed out those people that wasn't for us. And we became stronger behind it. With those people, with those same people who used to be here that dropped off, we wouldn't have been collegiate. We wouldn't have been collegiate. We wouldn't have been grand marshals. We wouldn't have been the first to be grand marshals. Like, come on. We wouldn't be all these things if it wasn't for the trials and tribulations that we went through.
So I think that, so for y'all, I am now okay. So again, I asked the question, how are y'all?
I know for me, if you would have asked me that 2 weeks ago, I would have bust out crying, bro. You feel me? But within the last 6 months to 6 to 8 months, well, 6 to 8 months ago, about 8 months ago, I ventured out to try something different, like what Max was saying, talk to somebody that's not biased, and I was actually talking to my doctor that referred me to a clinical doctor, and from there, talking with her, she referred me to a mental health doctor. And after talking to her, I realized I'm crazy as fuck, whereas I'm saying that to say, I've realized that even with relationships, I've sabotaged so many of them unconsciously. You know what I'm saying? And friendships and stuff, you know what I'm saying? I've tested people that didn't need to be tested. I've ended friendships that really didn't need to be ended. It just needed to be talked about, where I thought at one time it was like if I got mad, the hell with you. I don't need you, you know. But now I'm just learning how to make damn friends. Like real friends. I ain't talking about them bullshit ass friends. And I'm in my late 50s. I get what you're saying, Max, as far as not putting 100% dependency on just your circle. I get that, because a lot of that dependency has to be on yourself, because a lot of times it ain't going to be nobody you can call. And so you sit in that corner and you hug yourself and you keep telling yourself, I love you, until you get through it, or until somebody call you back, whichever one comes first. Hell, if it's a telemarketer that's calling, talk to them. If I'm going through something and ain't nobody else answering the phone, that's where I'm at today.
Okay.
At one point, I keep all this stuff bottled up inside, but it ain't do nothing but make me sick, and as I got older, I got to where I'm at now, going from 220 pounds to 147 in a matter of a year.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And not being able to gain the weight back. So yeah. And like when I joined this fraternity, I was like, yeah, I finally got my friends. I thought it was going to be something that happened instantly. Like once I crossed, everybody was my friend, and I had a group that I could go to about any and everything, and they wouldn't judge me or anything like that. But not realizing these are people too. And then on top of that, we all damn females. Ain't shit changed because you're a stud. You still a damn female.
That's
you
true.
still go through the emotions. You still go through menopause. You still go through all that shit that a normal female would go through. So thinking that joining an org is the answer to all of your prayers, no, it's not.
Mm-mm.
It's a group of people to help you answer your own prayers. That's the way I look at it.
Interesting.
You'll get it later.
Interesting. Interesting. Anybody else? How y'all feeling?
I mean, I've been pretty good. Been working as several months trying to change some behaviors a pattern that I usually fall into, to try to incorporate more healthier relationships,
Oh,
a lot more
interesting.
communication and stuff. Because definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. So that's just really been my focus, really hard, a lot lately, and it's been going good.
Okay.
Been hitting a couple of walls, but
No, just out of curiosity, when you hit those walls, what do you do? If you
I
don't
usually
mind.
have to, yeah, no, I usually have to take a step back and allow others to process what we're trying to do, to make sure that there's a common goal. And then, okay, like, it's like I said, we're trying to break patterns, and so we just, yeah, we have to take a step back, deep breath. You ready to have a conversation? And then we can move past, come up with a plan to move past that, because I refuse to regress to the worst version of myself,
Mm,
because that is just not a good deal. It's never good with that. It will never end good well that way. A lot of things went bad for me when I was like that. So I have to, at least, even if it's just once, I have to remember I'm trying to be better and do better. So, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth leaves every whole world blind. So can't do that.
interesting thought. Interesting. Anybody else?
Well, for me, I'm doing a lot better now. Um, I can say personally that being a new member, um, my process came right at the time it needed to come. I just we literally started a month after my divorce was finalized. So like I needed this to keep my mind off of the bullshit. It kept me occupied. It kept me, focused on something that I wanted to accomplish for myself, something that I had put off because I was putting everybody else ahead of me. You know, I had no problem doing that for my parents. Both of them are now deceased, but I was taking care of them, so that's what you're supposed to do. I didn't have an issue with it. I mean, it would have sometimes where it'd be overwhelming, but at the end of the day, I knew that's, I kind of felt like it was my purpose. Like I feel like the best thing I know how to do is love on my people that I love, you know?
Exactly.
And so, doing that, and then, my wife and her son, and put their needs ahead of mine, my wants, um so like, you know bro, prophetic was saying, like, you gotta, when you hit these walls or regressions or whatever, you gotta like pause and take a deep breath. And the process, that's what the process did for me, because I had those dark thoughts. It was things getting back to me that she has said. There was things that she should have done that we talked about, that I didn't have the money to obtain a lawyer to, get all this stuff, and which she knew, so it's just like, this process really helped me get me out of that headspace. Um, when it was done, it kind of, it took the edge off. I could definitely say that. But once the process was over, it was kind of like, okay, now I got all this time back on my hands. Like, okay, but I'm not as eager to check her on everything I hear now, or call her and be like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? So now it's just kind of like, I'm in a space of, it is what it is. I sit and take, I've taken responsibility for my actions from day one that led up to, I'm not naive to the fact that it takes two people.
Mm,
But what I can say is, I know that with all the loss I had over the years, and her coming into my life when it came, when she came, and it was just like like the ultimate emotional roller coaster. And she came in and she was a crutch, and she, at the time, everything was just like, this is perfect. But then when in these times, now I can sit like, she manipulated me from day FN1. You know what I'm saying? Like, that wasn't love, that was manipulation. I didn't say that. I know we talked about this, and she still turned it, it's just like, then I saw the red flags, but because of the mental state I was in, I was busy taking care of my mama, checking on my dad, working between 40 to 60 hours a week, so um it crossed my mind, but it'd be out. Like, it's okay, whatever. We moving forward. We moving forward. We trucking along.
mm,
And so for me, I can honestly say that I ain't 100% better, but I'm well past a lot of the stuff. And it's the process, even, kicking it with some of my brothers or whatever, chopping it up just about their experiences, and like just knowing that I not the only one that kind of, not saying that I'm naive to, people go through problems, but like I just had to let a couple of things be known because of who she is. And, I just like, I don't want to, I don't know what, let me just put this out there because I'd rather you hear from me, and, but, excuse me, guys, I'm sorry, I'm at work.
She's always at work. Always at work. Anyone else?
Listen, when you in the mafia, you don't sleep.
There you go.
Okay. Well, me personally, I feel okay. I'm good. I'm in a space now where I'm living. Like life is flowing easily. Before, if you had asked me this, 3-4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, I'd have told you I was a total wreck. Bro, Max, I get what you were saying about the holidays putting you in a space that you don't want to be in. You think about that holidays are not the same as they used to be when you're in a position such as myself. I lost my mom in 2018. I lost my sister in 2021. Things are not the same anymore. I went from being the baby to now being the mama. So I had to learn to cope with all of that and cope with working also. Now, in both aspects, I will say I am in a much better place. I have learned to disconnect work from home and home from work, and that's something that I could not do at first. Um, I also today I had an interview for the top 3 teachers of the year for my job. So I think that I'm doing very good now.
Awesome.
I really do, and I'm happy with myself.
I'm glad. I'm glad to hear that. All right, you up?
I've been good. I can't complain. It ain't gonna do you no good to complain. So I must say my only problem that I had recently with myself is feeling stagnant, like within my career or just period. Like it was like, you set goals for yourself, you achieve these goals, and then it's like, okay, what next? Like what next? And that what next, I couldn't grasp it, but sometimes the older I get, I'm realizing that it's not always what's next, and gratitude for what you have now, you know what I'm saying? And that what next is gonna come, automatically. What's for you is gonna always be for you. But other than that, pretty good. I've learned a long time ago about, relationships with people, holding them up to certain standards. I learned that at an early age. I grew up as an only child, so I would by default, assume that people were my friends or had my best interest at heart and all that. And it began to be failure after failure, letdown after letdown. So I learned that like in my early 20s. And I think that me learning that early, it helped shape and mold a lot of other things that would have come after that. Because once you know how people operate, you'll know how to maneuver around them to make sure that, you keep yourself on the level and steady, pace. So for the most part with relationships, with people, I treat them like a long handle spoon, you know what I'm saying? And if we create that bond and we, grow or that bond flourishes, then that's what it is. But yeah, I'm pretty good. I have no complaints.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, guys. I want you to also think about this for the people who are listening. Everything that my brothers have talked about when it comes to are they okay has been what I've been talking about when unpacking your parachute, which means that sometimes you have that one person in your circle. It doesn't have to be a bruh, it could be just some friends that you know that call you all the time to tell you their issues. Well, and then you give them your advice, or you listening, you are still taking in some of their bullshit. Let's just say what it is. And you putting it in your backpack and you wondering why your backpack just got heavy. And so I'm glad to hear that my bros, as I am developing to be a better leader for you all, I'm glad to hear that you all are developing to be good bros and good leaders as well, to understand what it takes to make you that. And I'm glad to see that you all are pulling that out and also cleaning out your parachutes is what I'm gonna call it. You guys have unpacked. I'm seeing it, that you're unpacking these parachutes for this bad juju, we're gonna say, and bad things that are in it, and really making sure that you pack what you need to make it through the day. This world right now is a little stinky. Okay, somebody done pissed in several different pools that we have to deal with. If it ain't your job, it's trying to get a relationship, trying to make sure you got financial wealth. And then let us all be real. And I think Perseverance and even Max maybe touched on this, that, oh, and actually our bruh, Cool Rush touched on it, about we're now stepping into an area where we have to take care of our parents. I have to call, do you understand? I have to call my parents. I got to figure out where they at. Half the time my mother is out protesting somewhere. The other half time my father is in Brazil, just missing the bullshit that would make him have to stay there and be in prison because he visited Brazil, visiting his girlfriend who lives in Brazil. I have to call and go, where are you? Oh, I'm in Brazil. Well, why you didn't tell me you was going? You see what I'm saying? So we're having to also step into a parenting. I feel like I parent two older people. Parenting our parents, as well as you said, Perseverance, you were the child, now you have become the adult or the parent over everybody. So it is that kind of thing that we also, as bros, we have to have this kind of conversation more, because I see that we need to make sure we're okay. And if we have to do it like this, then this is how we're going to do it. And this is outside of this podcast, okay? So please note that I'm listening to everything, and I'm glad to know that we are also not afraid to go talk to someone who doesn't know us. We're not afraid to go and talk to a professional, because first of all, as we all know, our Black community is afraid to talk to Barbara and lay on her couch, okay, and have conversations, let alone us as masculines. It's another factor that we have to put in. And then us being bros, I'm glad to know that we have recognized that we can find a way to self-heal ourselves. I hate that we cannot always count on each other when we need each other. And that's not so much about our brotherhood as it is about us as human beings. Okay, so I say all of that because I enjoyed this conversation, guys. I love you all. I appreciate you all getting on here. We will be doing this more often. As you know, Shooting the Shit is Sigma Omega Phi. I bring on my bros of Sigma Omega Phi to have these kind of conversations. And we will talk about some crazy stuff. Today was some serious stuff because we're about to be 15 years old. And I want to make sure that my bros understand what we've been through, because everybody hasn't been here, as you've heard. So I want them to know. And as we go into celebrating our Founders Week, they will hear more that you all, the public, will not hear, but they will hear more. So I let them know that. So I appreciate you. And I want everyone that's listening to this to know every Friday, Real Boys Talk is on the air at 6 p.m. If you have a product, if you have something that you want us to talk about, please hit me up. My email is realboystalk@gmail.com. And if anybody, you have something, like I said, you got a product, if you got a shirt or a hat, anything like that, I am willing to purchase it, wear it, and tell people about your product. So please, again, if you want to know about, want me to, sponsor or wear your product, please give me a hit on the email, realboystalk@gmail.com. The website is www.realboystalk.org. I appreciate everyone. I appreciate my guests. And we will be back next Friday. Thank you very much.